Welcome to the Rock is George podcast. I'm your host, George Dionne. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to hit like, follow, or subscribe on the platform that you're listening to us on. You can also check out my work at the loudest.com on the planet, knac.com, for exclusive hard rock and heavy metal interviews, live show coverage, album reviews, and more. My guest for episode 199 is bassist Mike Gorman of the Chicago, Illinois hard rock act, The Outfit. The Outfit just released their third studio album, Go, through Pavement Entertainment. And here's Mike Gorman to tell you more about it. If I knew absolutely nothing about The Outfit, how would you describe the band's music to me?
I would describe it as straightaway guitar rock, like not metal, but hard, fast. Not all of it's fast, but hard guitar rock. And the band is just two guitars, bass, and drums, and that's it. No pyrotechnics, no dancers, no bombs going off, just us playing.
The Outfit's based out of Chicago, Illinois. It was formed by Matt and Mark Nawara.
That's right, yeah.
Around 2018. How were you brought into the fold?
Well, I kind of knew those guys from around. I didn't know them real well, but I knew them from around, and they just called me up and said, "We're doing some recording. Would you like to come in?" And I'm like, "Sure," And it was just going to record a couple songs, and then it started sounding good, so we turned it into a band.
And that one recording turned into two recordings, and now you're at three recordings. And
exactly.
Your third recording is Go. It came out on April 19th through Pavement Entertainment. Do you guys record traditionally in a studio, or is it like everybody else seems to be doing today, back and forth through computer files?
There is some back and forth. We record up here in the Chicago area, actually in Chicago. We record the guitars, bass, and drums. Then we send that off at a touch of a button to our singer, Andy Mitchell, who lives in Phoenix, Arizona. And he puts the vocals on there. Then he sends his work back here. Then we compile it all and we send it out to a guy named ULRICH WILD in Los Angeles, who mixes it.
So with your singer, Andy Mitchell, living in Phoenix, Arizona, did he originally live in Chicago when things started off?
No, he's originally he's lived in San Diego for years. He's originally from San Diego, but he's lived in Phoenix for years. And the brothers knew him. I don't know how they knew the guy. But after we made a couple recordings, they were like, well, let's see if this guy, Andy Mitchell, would be interested. So they sent him a track, and he sent back the stuff that sounded really good. And then we just went from there. And sometimes it's a pain in the ass to deal with it when it's separated like that. But we make it work. So he sends usually everything he sends back is really good, so it works out.
So do Matt and Mark do the majority of the songwriting, or do you get to contribute some song ideas?
I contribute some. Matt and Mark do a lot of it, and Andy does a lot of it. Almost all those lyrics, which are sometimes really out there, but very cool. That's almost all him, Andy Mitchell.
You guys have the current single Monster out right now. I'm sure you've heard it a million times. If you want to give me your take on that particular song.
I like that song. It's again, that's some really wild lyrics going on in there. I think the band track is nice and solid. A little spooky sounding, which I like. I think overall the song, I think it's a really good record.
Another song you have out, cover of Cheap Trick's "Hello Kitties." It's not one of the songs that you think of when you think of Cheap Trick, but they play it almost all the time. Who's the big Cheap Trick fan in the band?
Well, that's the brothers, and that was their idea. And it's an honor to do their songs. The fact that those guys, when you pick those songs apart, they're really actually very unusual, and how they put the chords together and how it all works. Because some of it's like it shouldn't work because it's kind of crazy, but it's an honor to do it, and it's an honor to be here to do it. So it's the Noir brothers who are big Cheap Trick fans. So am I, but I think they're a little more fanboy than I am.
You ever have the opportunity to meet anyone in Cheap Trick?
Yeah, back in the day, we used to all play around in this area in the Midwest and run into them. And, good guys, really hardworking guys, really good. And they create a unique sound. And they are also funnier than all get out as far as being human beings.
You have another cover track that closes out the album, "God Save the Queen." I used to be in a cover band. This song actually goes over pretty well live. You wouldn't think it would, but it does.
It does. And it's the song is so ridiculous, and it's a good ridiculous. And when we play that song live, it always goes over. We got a little bit of grief here and there on a couple of reviews about covering it, but we like it and the audience likes it, so that's what counts.
You mentioned producer ULRICH WILD working on the album. He's worked on actually all three of the Outfits albums. Yeah. Is there a particular style that he brings to the album that you guys like, or is there a particular thing that he does that works for you guys?
Well, we're lucky to be able to work with him. He's a pretty big time dude, and Mark made that connection, and he just sonically he just fills the track out just so it's just this big thick sound coming out, and it's nice and it's clean, but the guitars are supposed to be dirty or sound dirty. The bass guitar is like a big huge thumping thing. It's just like, I just really love the way he does it. And another thing about that guy is that he's fast. I mean, we send him a track, and the next morning he's like, "What do you think of this?" It's like, holy schmoly.
ULRICH's actually worked with PANTERA, Static X, White Zombie, and the Deftones, so he's got quite the resume.
Yeah, and he does heavy duty stuff, and we met him. I had never met him, but we were in a plane in Los Angeles, and he came out. He stayed for the whole set, and really super nice guy. I don't know what I was expecting, but he's like he doesn't look like he's like a music business, goofball guy. He looks like a regular dude walking down the street, except he's got these unbelievable ears.
Another guy on the technical side of the album is Matt Mercado. He engineered the album. He's kind of a local Chicago music veteran. I had the chance to interview Matt actually 20 years ago. He had an album he put out called Super Mercado. Fantastic album.
Yeah.
How do you guys know Matt?
Well, Matt is a well-known guy in these parts, and we got to talking with him, and he was like, "Yeah, man, bring it in, and let's see what we get." And we started working with him, and he's a very talented guy, and a great guy, and he just he understood what we were doing, and he said, "Okay, let's do this." And there's been a few times when it's just me and him working on a bass track, and I call him Bass Police because he's like, "Are you sure you want that note in there?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, man." And he goes, "I don't know, those kind of things." But he's a he's a really smart guy, and he's really good at it.
I usually ask bands how they got signed to their label, but I found out that Pavement Entertainment's CEO is actually your drummer, Mark. So
That's
I assume that's good to have in your back pocket when it comes to getting a label deal.
Yeah, because who knows who would have been interested in it if it wasn't for that. So we just are like, okay, and it just so happens to work out. Who knows? There's so much stuff out there that who knows if it would have ever anybody would ever wanted to work with us. But and so that works out in our favor.
They've been certainly a big name in the industry. They certainly have some recognition in the field when it comes to rock, for sure.
Yeah, that they do. They have a several bands that are pretty well known, and they have Candlebox, um, Puddle of Mud. They have some heavy duty bands, Soil, Flaw. They have a new young band out going right now who they're doing really good called Plush. And they are just going coast to coast, ripping things up. Really good band.
You guys have the new album Go out streaming and on CD. Do you have it on CD? Is it a physical
It
copy?
is on CD. There is a physical copy of it available.
Have you talked about putting it out on vinyl?
We have, and we just don't know how much of a market would be there for it. Now, some of the other bands that Pavement handles, for instance, Plush or Puddle of Mud, they get a pretty good response from vinyl, and we've thought about it, but that's really kind of up to Mark, and so I don't know if that would actually happen or not. Be cool to have it, that's for sure. And it's got great artwork. Uh-oh, I happen to have a copy right here. Oops. And it would probably look great in a big forum, but I will see if that happens. I don't know.
The outfit just had a show at Patriots Fest in Aurora, Illinois. How did that go?
It went great. We had beautiful weather, and the crowd was great. We were the first band on, so the place was still filling up. But the people that were there were very receptive, and we knew the sound guys, so we had that advantage going, and so it went really well. And, whenever you book an outdoor show, you're looking at it in February and you're looking at May. It's like, who knows what weather you're going to get, especially in this area of the country. And it was beautiful. So everything worked out. Everything went our way that day.
What does future live shows look like for the outfit?
Well, we don't have a whole lot. We have a couple things right in our area this summer, and we're working on the fall to see if we can get out of town and maybe, which we've traveled. The band has traveled before, and get out and kind of expand our horizons, so to speak. And we've gone out as far as Los Angeles. We've gone as far as Manhattan, and we want to get back out there. It takes a little time to get it set up. So in the meantime, we just have a couple of things right in our area in generally northern Illinois.
You've been a musician for a long time. What's one of your most memorable gigs?
Oh, there've been several, some really good, and some you remember because they didn't go well. But I mean, that's like any job. There's going to be days like that. That's for sure. But there's been some good ones. When I first started playing as an opener, playing like in arenas and standing on these big stages and looking through the where the aisle goes up into the concession stands and watching people buying popcorn while you're playing bass, and they're like 200 feet away, and you're thinking, how did I get here? And that's always kind of stuck in my mind the first time I ever saw that from the stage. And then more recently, we've had some really good shows with the outfit. Fortunately, it usually goes over well. And we were playing in town right here in Chicago at House of Blues, which is a really nice, pretty good sized venue. And, it's all top notch. Everybody working there is just so on top of everything. And the crowd was just awesome. The energy was great. And that's the kind of stuff you remember when the crowd is just, they become the show. And it's just, yeah. So those something like that you do remember.
What was one of your most disastrous shows?
Let's see. Where would you start? Well, the outfit had one not too long ago, way out of town. And this is the one where there was a lot of no-shows, let's put it that way. And then we had a technical problem, and the band just stopped. And everything just went quiet. And there were some people there, I think they'd probably been day drinking, and it was actually kind of funny, but it was a little unnerving. They're like, hey, yeah, and they're 50 feet away, but you can hear them perfectly because there's nobody in the place except them. And we're kind of slouching at the bar. And I just started playing some bass licks just so I didn't have to hear them. But stuff like that, when the unexpected happens, you just got to roll with it. But that's memorable in a negative way.
So, Mike, in the course of my research, I found this band called the PEZBAND. And from what I understand, you were in that band from 1977 to 1979. So why don't you tell me a little bit about the PEZBAND?
Well, PEZBAND was neighborhood guys in we grew up in a town called Oak Park, which is directly west of downtown Chicago. It's bordered on two sides by Chicago proper, and it was all guys who grew up there and who every kid on every block had a band. And then when we started getting a little older, like getting out of high school, there were a few guys who were like, well, let's see if how far we can take this. And then eventually, started getting out, going all over the place, playing live and making records and doing all that kind of stuff. So it was really just neighborhood guys who just started playing and learning how to do it. I can't imagine what we sounded like when we first got together, but the band eventually got to be a really good band.
Was it straight up rock and roll like the outfit?
Yeah, but it was a little more, you might say, poppy. Like the writing was, it was two guitars, bass, and drums, like the outfit, but the material was a little more poppy, and but it was done. We played, the band played hard, but it wasn't as heavy duty as the outfit.
I saw that you had 3 studio albums listed at Discogs. Were you on a label?
Yeah, we were on a label called Passport, which was out of New Jersey. And they were distributed by ABC for a while. They were partnered up with Sire Records for a while. And so it was a smaller label, but that's what we could get. And we had 3. That's how it was used to be done back then. 3 records in 3 years plus 2 live EPs.
From what I understand, there may be a retrospective release for the PEZBAND in the future.
Yeah, we were able to get a hold of some of the masters, and the ones we didn't, we took it off a virgin vinyl. And with the nowadays software that you can get, you can isolate these tracks. And we had a guy go in and just comb through everything. And it's really painstaking, but the results are amazing. And it's been redone. And I don't know, it'd probably be a little more towards fall before that comes out. But yeah, it's gonna be 22 songs, and then there's gonna be 10 of those songs will actually be on vinyl, and then streaming and CD.
In your downtime from the outfit, are you playing with any other bands?
I do play locally in a band called the Redmonds, which is a really good band. It's mostly cover stuff, but the cover stuff ranges from, it's not a tribute band, but they do everything. They'll do like Itchy-Coo Park by the Small Faces, but then they'll do a Bob Dylan song. And it's the Redmonds are a married couple, Mike and Katie Redmond. And then the band gets filled out, but there's kind of a rotating cast. There's pedal steel. There's a guy that comes in who plays 15 different instruments, including violin, mandolin, harp, flute. And these are all top-notch people. What they're doing slumming with us, I don't know. But it's a really good band. They play in local clubs and then in the outdoor season on the outdoor stuff.
Sounds like a fantastic band to see live in the local Chicago area.
It is. It's a good band.
Before I let you go, Mike, what are the origins of the outfit's band name?
The brothers were talking to each other, and then when it started to actually turn into something, Matt said to Mark, "What are we going to call this outfit?" And Mark said to Matt, "The Outfit." And they both looked at each other and said, "Okay." Then they called me and said, "We're calling it The Outfit." I'm like, "Okay." That's the story they told me.
Simple enough. Well, Mike, those are all the questions I have for you today. The new album by The Outfit is Go. It's out now through Pavement Entertainment. Fantastic album. I wish you the best of luck with it. And I want to thank you for speaking with me and telling me more about it today.
Well, thank you so much for having us. And it's very nice to speak with you. And I hope to meet you sometime.
Once again, I want to thank Mike Gorman of The Outfit for coming on the Rock is George podcast. Be sure to check out their latest album, Go, out now through Pavement Entertainment. Head over to your favorite music streaming platform. Take a listen to the album. If you like what you hear, buy a physical copy. Support the artist. For all things The Outfit, head over to their official website, theoutfit.rocks. I also want to thank Barbara Papa George and Pavement Entertainment for making this interview possible. You've been great. I've been George Dionne. Discover your next favorite artist on the Rock is George podcast.